Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Dr. Elena Michaels, and I'm going to do a tarot and angel card reading for you and a guided meditation. And when we met in person pre-COVID, I didn't use the cards. But the purpose of the cards is that when the cards show up, they let me know where I need to go in the guided meditation to benefit whoever's watching or listening whenever they watch or listen. Now, when we did it pre-COVID, I did the guided meditations in a room of people, and I was able to pick up on the energy of the room as an intuitive and know where to go with the guided meditation. They are never pre-written, they are never prepared, so they're just kind of downloaded, I guess you could say. So the cards show me where to go, which is great. And when the group asked me to continue the guided meditations in this way so that they could still participate, I was just here alone. I didn't have a room full of people. I just had my cat, Luna the meditation cat, who you may hear from tonight if she's feeling like she wants to contribute, which she often does. And so I got the guidance to start pulling the cards to give me the guideposts and the map, so to speak, of where we go in the guided meditation. The other thing is you can watch or listen to these anytime that works for you, and you can listen to them repeatedly. A lot of times people will want to skip through the card part after they've already heard the card part, and so in the description I will tell you exactly where the guided meditation starts. So if you want to just go straight to that, you can. However, I do suggest that you listen to the card reading at least once. Excuse me. I'll tell you about this in a minute. Because by listening to the card reading, by the way, the card reading, I'm not telling fortunes, okay? The card reading, the cards that show up, I ask that they be the most beneficial cards for everyone who's watching or listening whenever they watch or listen. You may watch the card reading one time and get clarity on something that you become aware of through what the cards say. And you may watch it again a few days later or a week later and get something else, some other information. What the cards do is they start to take you into a deeper level that is a little more archetypal, and so you're able to tap into things that you may not have been consciously aware of before. So you may have some aha moments, and so that is why I say listen to the card part at least once, and you may listen to it each time, I don't know. The other thing is if you feel like you're falling asleep, that's fine. Don't worry about it. A lot of people fall asleep at night using these videos and they just listen. That's fine if you fall asleep. Your subconscious is still hearing everything I'm saying. And you will only take in the information that resonates with you and your belief system. Now, I want to tell you about this eye-watering business, which I said I'd tell you about before. This is what I call releasing, okay? Releasing means that I am letting go of energy and releasing energy, and it's starting to start flowing through me. So because it's flowing through me, my eyes start to water, my nose starts to run, I may cough, need to clear my throat, my voice may get hoarse, like it kind of feels like it's doing right now, and I have to have some water. So that's what I mean when I say I'm releasing. And if you see me yawning, that's what it's about. It doesn't mean I'm tired or bored. It means I'm getting ready to let the energy go. This happens to me whenever I do this on video. It also happens to me when I do readings for people privately, or any kind of intuitive work that I do privately for people. So that's what it's about. And if I call it releasing, now you know what it is. Okay? Now this is the guided meditation and card reading for Wednesday, July 13th. Now, the 13th card is a card that a lot of people freak out about when they see it come up in a tarot reading, because they think it means they're gonna die or it's a death card. It's the death card. So it kind of scares people. It's got a skeleton on a horse, and you know, people kind of go, oh no, when they see that card. But I want you to know, this is a 13 day. And 13 is the death card. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're dying. It means that it is the death of things that no longer work for you, the death of the old, and being able to move on from a higher place by letting go of the things that no longer work for you. Letting go of the superficial appearances, letting go of the false veneers, letting go of just that false persona that you might have going on in certain situations. You can let it go. That's what the 13 is about. Oh my God. See, this happens a lot even when sometimes just as soon as I turn the video on, it starts happening. So, a lot of releasing tonight. Now, when you add 13, you add 1 and 3, you get 4, okay? 4 is life, mind, truth, and love. Always if you come from life, mind, truth, and love, you can't go wrong. No matter what's going on in your life, come from life, mind, truth, and love. When I talk about life, I mean come from the vitality that is coming through you from the universal energy, God consciousness, Jesus, Buddha, Christ, whatever you want to call it. That energy coming through you, through your breath, is life. So you come from your vitality, you come from mind, which means being aware of what you're saying and doing in a conscious way. Truth is speaking your truth, coming from a truth place, and love is coming from love, of course. So that's when you add 1 and 3 together, the 13 day, you add that, you get life, mind, truth, and love, okay? So it's a good thing. It's a good thing to let go of things that don't work. It's a good thing to let go of, hurt feelings. It's a good thing to let go of emotions that aren't serving you or habits that aren't serving you. So, we all have habits that are not in our best interest. So maybe you have some of those. Just think about it. Just, entertain the idea. All right, I think it's time to pull some cards. And so we're going to do that right now. I have some water. And off we go. I'm going to pull from my traditional deck first, the Tarot. Then I have a couple other decks, and I'll pull from those too. I always like to start with this deck. This is the first deck I started working with. And I started working with this deck when I was a teenager. This is actually a new version of it. The other one is kind of old, so I got a new one several years ago. So this is not the same one that I was using when I was a teenager. All right. We ask that the Tarot give us information that is helpful. I suggest that if you have a question about something, you write the question down or you think about the question so that maybe the cards can give you some clarity on that. I ask that we be divinely protected by beautiful healing white light, and that the cards that show up are beneficial for everyone who's watching or listening whenever they watch or listen. And that if they listen repeatedly and watch the card reading part repeatedly, they get new insights every time that they watch the card reading. Okay, so I've shuffled this deck very well, and when I pull the cards, like from last week, I shuffled the deck really well. So sometimes the same cards come up again and again, and it's not that they're on top or anything, because the deck is shuffled, and there's a lot of cards here, you see that? So when the same card comes up that we just had last week or the week before, it's kind of driving something home. It's like, get this. It's kind of like a 2x4 over the head. It's kind of like, do you get this now? That kind of thing. All right, I'm going to cut the cards and take the one that's on top. Here we go. Guidance for all. Clarity for all. Oh my God. You see, this is a perfect example. This card came up last week. Unbelievable. All right, well, I'm gonna go to the one right after it, and it better not be the same one from last week. That's pretty wild. Okay, give us another one. Okay. Cups. All right, 2 of Cups. We're gonna stop with that right there. You know what? I'm getting the guidance to choose one more Tarot card. Here we go, the next one. Okay, that's a nice one. All right, so we're going to put this deck aside and talk about what just came up, because we have a repeating card, and that means it's driving something home. That means it's emphasizing something that you need to focus on. Whoever you are, whenever you're watching, it's not an accident that it came up again, okay? Let's look at it. This is the Two of Pentacles. Okay, see this guy? Look what's going on behind him. A lot of big waves, a lot of tumultuousness, okay? This is a lot of, water is emotion. This is a lot of emotion going up and down, up and down, up and down, okay? He's not interested in that. He is focused on something else. He's focused on balancing these pentacles. These pentacles are about work, career, daily life, and finances. That's what pentacles are about. He's wearing red tights and a red hat and has red sleeves. Red is the color of the root chakra, so he's kind of trying to stay grounded and keep things in balance. He's wearing a yellow tunic, which is the color of the solar plexus, and ironically enough, that's the bowl that I have tonight that we're going to be using later on in the meditation. And the solar plexus is your power center. So he is holding on to his power. He's containing his power. He's keeping his balance. He's not getting involved in drama. Now, his boots are green, his shoes are green, and the lemniscate is green. The lemniscate is like a sideways 8. You see, it kind of goes like this. And it's a sign for infinity, okay? So his is green, his shoes are green. He's coming from the heart, all right? His heart chakra is activated. So come from your heart, life, mind, truth, and love. Stay in balance. Stay out of the chaos that might be going on around you or behind you. Just ignore it. It has nothing to do with you. It's tumultuousness, and it's emotional tumultuousness. Just don't even try and ride that wave. Just focus on what you're focused on, and don't let anything else distract you from that. Okay? Very interesting. Second week in a row. Okay? Next, another 2. This is another cups. This is a cups card. Okay? Remember I talked about the water in here? Water is cups. All right? The water in the back here. Water is emotion. Okay? And here we have cups. In the tarot, there are 4 suits. There's cups, pentacles, wands, and swords. Okay? The wands are air or breath. The swords are words or fire. The cups are emotions or water. And the pentacles are earth or finances. Okay? So here you have a couple, a man and a woman. And they are looking at each other, and they are making some kind of a commitment as they hold these cups. Now remember, cups are emotion, okay? And right above them is the red lion, okay? Rather than getting into anything super, super esoteric here, which may be hard to follow, the red lion is a symbol for a man and a woman coming together consciously, okay? Being intimate in a conscious way. He's also got wings coming out, okay? So the red lion is coming from a high place, not a place of lust. Do you follow that? Not a place of lust, okay? So this is conscious communion between a man and a woman. And they are making a commitment to each other. Now, she's wearing a white gown with a blue tunic over it. Blue is the color of the throat chakra, how you speak, okay, speaking your truth. He's wearing a yellow tunic, and it's got 4-leaf clovers on it, okay, and they have a yellow center. And he's got a red belt, and he's got red flowers in his hair. So he's the root chakra, and his yellow tunic is the solar plexus. So she is actually wearing the purity of the white gown underneath that blue tunic. And she has the green leaves in her hair, which is green is coming from the heart chakra, okay? So this is a beautiful card. And if you're in a relationship with someone, be as conscious as you can. And when you are being intimate and connecting with that person in a sexual way, do it in a conscious way. Do it in the high vibrational way. That's all I'm going to say about it right now, because if I get into it any deeper, it's going to be too deep. Okay. Yeah, they're definitely connecting with each other in a beautiful way. 2 of Cups, 2. All right, next. This is another beautiful card. This is another beautiful card that has to do with relationships. This is the 10 of Cups, more emotion. And this, see this? This is a rainbow. They're very happy. There's the girl again with the blue tunic on, and there is the man again with the gold kind of tunic on. Now, he's wearing blue leggings, she's wearing a blue overcoat. Again, coming from your throat chakra. They are very, very grateful and feeling very, very blessed. This is an emotional card. The children are happy, they're dancing, and they've got their arms up like, wow, isn't this cool? A rainbow, all is well. There's our beautiful home. Here's the water. Remember, water is cups, and water is also emotion. So this is a 10 of Cups, and it's like all is well. It's like everything's good. And if you're in a relationship or moving into a relationship, this is a very auspicious card, okay? So is this one, a very auspicious card. This is about a conscious connection, not a superficial one. A conscious connection between a man and a woman. Okay. Or between partners, okay? Next, I'm gonna go with the Indigo Angels. That's just the deck that's on top, so that's what I'm pulling here. And I'm gonna put this over here, out of the way, and this over here. Okay, let's see what the Indigo, I lay the cards out so that when it's time for me to actually do the guided meditation, I can kind of look at them as guideposts. All right, we're going to go into the indigos now. An indigo is anyone who is highly intuitive, empathic, sensitive. If you're watching this, you're probably one. And we have to be very careful as indigos. And indigos can be any age, by the way. But we have to be very careful to learn how to shield ourselves. That's one of our great lessons in our lives. We have to be able to shield ourselves from taking on the energy of other people or their negative comments. Just take the truth from the comment, and don't take the hurt from the comment. And don't absorb other people's energy. That's a lesson that we have to learn, not to absorb other people's energy, okay? That's, you know, if you're an empath, that's kind of what you kind of do, but it's not a good thing for you. Boundaries are very, very important. Establishing your boundaries is a life lesson for indigos and empaths and sensitives and intuitives. All right, give us more guidance, more clarification, more substantiation, more elaboration. And the card on top is okay. Think about it. Okay. Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. All right, she's definitely thinking. See her? She's an angel and she's got her head down. She's kind of thinking. Think about it. Think about something that has happened recently. Think about the wisdom that you've gained from the thing that happened. Think about something good that came from something that just happened. I'm going to read you about the Think About It card. Oh, opened right to it. Okay. All right. This card asks you to step back from your current path or thought process and review the situation you're asking about. There's an unseen aspect, and the angels guide you to slow down so you can move forward with the whole picture in sight. That is a very important point. You know, when something happens, sometimes you just have to stop and slow down rather than reacting. You have to stop, slow down, and respond from a conscious place. There's an unseen aspect, and the angels guide you to slow down so you can move forward with the whole picture in sight. This card can also be cautionary if you are about to make a radical change impulsively. While it may still be the best path, this card asks you to look into the alternatives first. Take your time and think about things. As an indigo, you're exquisitely sensitive to energy. And your mission is to heal and transform negative energy into positive. Okay, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to change negative energy into positive energy. What a mission, right? However, there's always a better way to do so. This card asks you to research your options for making the healthful changes that are part of your indigo mission. How do you change negative energy into positive energy? What do you think? You do it by reframing it. You do it by not getting all emotionally involved in any hurt that's going on. Let the drama be behind you, okay? Let the drama be behind you, the tumultuousness of the drama. How you turn negative into positive is you reframe it. You simply, I call it turning on a dime. If you are in a submarine, this is from Maxwell Maltz, who wrote, oh God, I forgot the name of it, a classic self-help book from like the 50s and 60s. Psycho-cybernetics, that's what it's called, Psycho-cybernetics. And he uses an example in there that it always made sense to me. If you're in a submarine and you're going, and you've got the dial on the navigation to go in a certain direction, and you move the dial to go in another couple degrees this way, you go to a whole new place. You might have been going over here, and now you're going over here, and it's a whole new place. So I call it turning on a dime. You turn on a dime and you change and reframe what happened, okay? So if you had an interaction with someone and it was unpleasant or it was hurtful to you, reframe it by saying something along the lines of, I'm going to take the wisdom from this situation and I'm going to let the rest fall away. The death card, remember? 13, that's today. I'm going to take the wisdom from this situation and let the rest fall away. I'm not going to get involved in drama. I'm going to find the gold in this situation. What is the silver lining in this situation? What is the benefit that I'm going to get by letting go of all the emotional part of it and just focus on the truth of what happened, the truth of what went on, the truth of what was said? And is there wisdom in that? Is there a bit of truth in that? And is there something you can do about that to make it better, to make yourself better, to fine-tune yourself? So when you start changing the way you look at something, what you look at starts to change. When you change the way you look at something, what you look at starts to change. And it's a totally different place. Like he says in the book, Psycho-cybernetics, instead of going here, oh, woe is me, this horrible thing happened, oh, so-and-so said this, or so-and-so did that, or so-and-so, is not being cool, or whatever. You just go in a different direction and you change it. You change it. You have the power to change it. You have the power to reframe something. No one else has that power for you. You are the only one that has the power to reframe something for your benefit. That is your God-given gift. Powerful. All right, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. All right, we're gonna go into another card here. I'm gonna go to the daily guidance from the angels. Move these out of the way. Whoops. Okay, I'll get that later. Okay, let's ask the archangels. Let's have an archangel come and give us some information, some clarification, substantiation. A little more about this think about it energy, a little more about letting the chaos be behind you, the drama be behind you, not focusing on it. A little more about this conscious connection with someone. A little more about this wonderful outcome with the rainbows and the cups and this great emotional feeling. Cups are emotions, remember? So something wonderful is about to happen. If it hasn't already happened, it might have. And think about things. Think about things. Be aware. Don't be unconscious. Don't be asleep when you're actually thinking you're awake. Be alert and conscious in all of your dealings. Okay. Here we go. Card on the top. All right, this is See Only Love. Okay, well, if something has recently happened and it's been a little disconcerting for you, just see love, okay? A lot of times when someone says something, they say it in a way that isn't necessarily loving. It might be hurtful, it might be abrasive, it might be harsh. This is more about what they're going through and what they're dealing with. Ignore the harshness, ignore that edge, and just go to what they're saying. Is there some truth to what they're saying? If there is, see only love. See only love in what they say. Don't get caught up in the other parts that make you feel bad, or that make you angry, or that make you want to retaliate. None of that is helpful at all. Whoops. My glasses were falling. Just see only love, okay? I'm going to read that to you right now. This is such a powerful lesson, to see only love. Remember, this guy's wearing green boots and a green lemniscate. Look at all the green behind this couple. Love. Look at all the green in this card. All the green. Love. Okay? Look past the seeming errors, mistakes, and misunderstandings, and see only the love within each person, including yourself. Your resolute focus upon the love that underlies every situation brings about healing in undreamed of ways. Wow, that is great. That is great. That is great. Such a powerful lesson to see only love. I'm going to read from the book now, See Only Love. The angels gave you this card as a reminder to see yourself, others, and every situation through their eyes. When you focus on love, anything that's unloving falls away. It's like turning on a light, or like I said earlier, turning on a dime. Turning on a light to diminish the previous darkness. Call upon the angels whenever you need help to elevate your vision to a more loving vantage point. Here are some additional meanings of this card. Look past the personality and the ego of others. You know, when I was saying if somebody says something to you, it's more about them, what they're going through, their personality issues. Just take the truth from it. Look past their personality and ego. Look past your own too. And just see the love. See the angel within them. The angels can help you with this if it seems difficult. Forgive. Release anger, hurt, or judgments. That's what I said when I talked about turning on a dime. Release anger, hurt, or judgments to the angels. Affirm what you desire instead of what you fear. Affirm what you desire instead of what you fear. That is really powerful. Affirm what you desire instead of what you fear. The most destructive comments are the ones when someone tells you what someone else said about you or what someone else thinks about you. It's like third-party transmission, you know? When someone says, oh, you know, so-and-so said you're XYZ, or so-and-so said they feel this about you. That's coming through the personality of the person who's telling you something. So see past that personality. See past any feelings that you will have about that. And think about it and see if there's some truth there. See past all the personality and the ego and see if there's some truth there. And if there's truth there, then it's your job to reframe the situation. Because you and only you have that God-given power to do that. No one can reframe it for you. You have to reframe it yourself. I'm going to pull another card, and then we're going to go into the guided meditation. We have plenty of stuff to guide where we're going to go. Plenty of info, plenty of guidance, plenty of information in the map that is laying out here in front of me. All right, this is it. Last card. Guidance, information, substantiation, clarification. Remember, think about your question that you wrote down or thought about. See if this is giving you any clarity whatsoever, even a little piece of clarity from something that is being said. And maybe even more when we go into the guided meditation. You know, I knew this card was going to come up. I probably should have said it before it came up so I could prove to you that I knew it was going to come up. Yeah, this is a beautiful card. Spiritual understanding. See that? All right, this card is really beautiful. It's got two doves at the top. Two doves at the top, all right? Remember this card, 2. Remember this first card, 2. Now we have another 2. Right, Luna? Is that right? Luna the meditation cat, did you come to join us tonight? This is Archangel Raziel. I love the purples in this card. I'm going to read to you about this card. Archangel Raziel says, I am bringing you esoteric information and symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. Sounds good to me. I'm down with that. I'm going to read to you from the book, Raziel. If you get a symbol and you don't know what it is, or you see something and it seems like a symbol that is important or relevant, you don't know what it is, ask Raziel to help you see what he's trying to tell you or what the universe is trying to tell you. It's so interesting. Some of these cards never show up, and some of them just show up repeatedly, even though the decks are always shuffled. That just blows my mind. These decks are always shuffled very, very well after I do these videos. And then I pull them out again and the same cards come up. It's wild. All right, spiritual understanding. Here we go. Here's an additional message. Your spiritual understanding is rising to another level as you open up to new ways of looking at life. Keep an open mind and let go of limited thinking and illusions. Keep an open mind. Think about it. Keep an open mind and let go of limited thinking and illusions. Pay attention to signs, information that comes to you 3 times or more. Notice geometric symbols and shapes in your physical and psychic vision. Know that your increased awareness may shift your relationships and career goals. I'll guide you, he says, through these changes so your life mirrors your inner experiences. Working with Archangel Raziel. As the wizard and alchemist of the Archangel realm, Raziel helps us understand ideas that defy normal logic. He expands and challenges everyday thinking in ways that ultimately have healing effects. If you hunger for deep spiritual understanding, ask Raziel to enter your dreams. You'll soul travel with him to classrooms where he'll help you uncover truths and secrets. Upon awakening, you may not fully remember or understand Raziel's teachings, yet the knowledge is permanently embedded in your subconscious, where it guides you throughout each day. And with that, which was a really nice card to show up for us, with that, we're going to start the guided meditation. Let me look at the clock here. So now we're going to start the guided meditation. Make yourself comfortable. Right, Luna? You can change your position anytime you want to. You can shift your position. I want you to be comfortable. So lay down, right? Lay down. And if you have an eye mask or something to make it dark for yourself, go ahead and do that. Make sure you're not going to be disturbed. Get ready to go deep. Even if you're having thoughts, don't worry about it. Thoughts come from your brain, and your brain is designed to think. But imagine that you're watching cars go by, sitting on a beautiful hillside. The sky is beautiful periwinkle blue. There are beautiful fluffy white cumulus clouds floating in the sky, and you're watching cars go by. But you're not jumping on to any of them. You're not putting your consciousness on any of them. You're just watching them go by. That's what happens if you're seeing thoughts in your mind, or hearing thoughts in your mind, or thinking thoughts in your mind. Just let them go by. Don't dwell on any of them. Just kind of say to yourself, oh, there's some thoughts. Don't let your ego try and interfere with your experience during the guided meditation. Notice your breath. Become aware of your breathing. Just notice it. And notice how your breathing begins to change on its own. If you're lying down, you can feel your abdomen rise up when you inhale and go flat when you exhale. This is diaphragmatic breathing. This is relaxation breathing. This is the kind of breathing you do when you are relaxed. This is the kind of breathing to do when you want to relax. Your breath comes in, your abdomen goes out. Your abdomen goes flat, deflates when the breath goes out. Do this for a few breaths and feel yourself relaxing more and more. That's it. Let go. As your body starts to relax more and more, you may find yourself releasing as well. Your eyes may water. Your nose may run. Your mouth and lips may feel dry. Those are signals that you're moving into a different state of consciousness, that you're beginning to go deeper and relax more. As I count from 5 down to 0, each count allows you to relax even more with each breath that you take, with each sound of my voice, with each noise that you hear. Easily and gently, drifting and floating. Starting on the count of 5, letting go, allowing your jaw to relax. Your entire body starts to let go more and more. It's almost like every cell in your body is saying, thank you. Thank you for giving me this time. Thank you for investing time in your spiritual life. Every cell in your body is grateful that you are moving into a parasympathetic state. Because in a parasympathetic state, your body can recalibrate, balance, heal, regenerate, and renew. That doesn't happen unless you're in a parasympathetic state. And when you start to go into parasympathetic states more often, you will feel every cell in your body say, yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to rebalance and recalibrate, regenerate, and heal. Moving now from 4 down to 3. Letting go even more. That's it. Relaxing even more. Your entire torso is relaxing. All the organs in your torso are recalibrating, rebalancing, and drifting from 3 down to 2. Letting go even more as you move down into your lower extremities. Letting go even more. That's it. Every breath, releasing more and more. Going from 2 down to 1. All the way down to your ankles and feet now. The entire body relaxed from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. In a moment, you'll hear some tones, some chimes. Allow those tones to take you even deeper. Allow your consciousness to travel in the sound currents of those tones. Letting go even more. Any sounds that you hear that you recognize as everyday normal sounds don't allow you to become distracted. Instead, they allow you to go even deeper into your own inner world, rich with potential. Getting ready now and going from 1 down to 0. Letting go even more. Letting go even more. Even more. And letting go even more. These subtle sounds tap into your subtle etheric body. They allow your cells, using the tones that you hear throughout the rest of this audio video. Your cells resonate to tones, and the tones allow your cells to balance. Now is the time for you to let the chaos and the drama be behind you. No more focusing on it. Focus on the matters at hand, the ones that keep you in balance. Let the rest fall by the wayside. What you look at and focus on, you see more of. If there is a situation in your life that you have been focusing on negatively or in a limiting way, reframe that and change your focus so that you see more positive in the situation. When you see more positive in the situation because you have reframed it, you will begin to see more and more positives. More and more positives will be manifesting in your life by the reframing any negative situations into positive ones. See only the wisdom. Get the wisdom from the situation. In your relationships, come from the highest, come from consciousness, come from awareness. Do not come from superficial appearances. Come from authenticity. Come from the real you. And in your mind, connect with others to the real them. Don't get caught up in their personality or ego. See past that to the divinity within each person you interact with. There are some beautiful things for you coming on the horizon. A lot of wonderful, positive feelings, a lot of joy and happiness. Expect that. Look forward to it. Think about situations that you're in from different perspectives. Think deeply before you react, so that you are instead consciously responding instead of automatically reacting. See only love. See only love in the situation. Even if someone says something to you that's hurtful, see only love. See if there is wisdom in that thing they are saying to you. Detach that wisdom from the emotional component and think about it and see only love. Reframe it to the fact that they are saying something to you because they love you and they care about you. It changes everything. Look for the symbols and the signs. They are being shown to you always to remind you that you are not alone, to remind you that you have spiritual guidance available, to remind you that you have benevolent energies around you, to remind you that you have angelic presence around you. Look for symbols that happen 3 times or more. Those are the most powerful ones. Those are the ones that something is strongly being communicated to you. There are symbols everywhere. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is accidental. Look for the connections. Look for the synchronicities. Look for the magic. It's there. Look for the magic, the connections. Life becomes very rich when you function this way, very meaningful. And allow yourself to go deeper. Deeper and deeper. Relaxing more and more. Gaining more and more benefit the deeper you go. That's it. Every cell in your body wants you to go deep. Every cell in your body craves you to go deep within. That's it. Just let go. For taking this time for yourself. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to meeting with you again in this dimension. Many blessings to you. Until we meet again. Much love and namaste.